We started the Constitutional Court, where the fourth hearing into the impeachment case against President Yoon Suk Yeol kicked off this afternoon, again in his presence. For more on this, Arirang's Soo-young joins us live from the court. Soo-young, so what are the latest events there?
Good afternoon, Sunny. Yes, President Yoon, he appeared in front of court justices for the second time to attend his fourth impeachment trial hearing, where former Defense Minister Yong-hyun attended. He was called in as the first of 8 witnesses to the trial. Now, Yong-hyun, he is one of the key figures implicated in the planning and execution of the martial law on December 3rd, and now considered President Yoon's right-hand man. Kim has initially said that he would take responsibility for the chaos that ensued, and it seemed that his loyalty to the president remains intact, as he initially refused to answer questions by the National Assembly's impeachment panel, saying that his words were likely to be distorted. Now, he did change his mind after the short break, and as the session proceeded, the focus of the questions was on the legality of the martial law decree, with Kim insisting that Yoon had held a proper cabinet meeting beforehand, saying that a copy of the martial law declaration was distributed to cabinet members and that somebody had kept the minutes. Also, when asked if he had written the controversial note that the finance minister Choi Sang-mok received, instructing him to draft a budget for an emergency legislative body, Kim said that he had, and had handed it to an administrative staff member. Now, this came after President Yoon initially said he could not remember whether he or the defense minister had written the note, before recently denying that he had. There was also much attention on the martial law proclamation, which included a ban on political activities, one of the Assembly's grounds for impeaching Yoon. Now, the former defense minister said he had personally typed up the proclamation on his personal laptop, but couldn't seem to recall which software he'd been using when asked by the Assembly. Furthermore, on whether there was an order for military troops to storm the National Assembly on December 3rd and drag out Assembly members, Kim said the order had meant troop members inside the Assembly to avoid potential clashes. Now, with his testimony on Thursday, Kim more or less seems to be establishing the stance that the martial law was declared to uphold the constitutional order. This was an argument that the president team has been making, saying that the opposition-led parliament had been trying to impeach incumbent officials, thwart effective governance and cut down budgets vital to public safety and livelihoods. The National Assembly side, meanwhile, has continued to argue that Yoon's martial law declaration and the related decrees were unconstitutional and violated procedures, citing how cabinet members said they didn't agree with the martial law nor documented their approval.
Right, and going forward, Soo-young, the president will now be attending, I hear, all of the remaining 4 sessions.
That's right. The president's lawyers have said that, if possible, Yoon will be attending all future sessions, which have been scheduled until February 13th. And so far, his team has unsuccessfully filed appeals against his arrest. And as the president's his former colleagues, the major figures implicated in the suspected insurrection, have also been arrested, he is looking quite cornered when it comes to the criminal investigations against him. So by attending future hearings, President Yoon could emphasize his own narrative, and he might even directly ask questions to witnesses if necessary, as he did today. Also, he may be more determined to appear at the Constitutional Court as a means of further rallying his supporters, emboldened by the latest polls, which show growing numbers back the ruling party and his non-impeachment. On Thursday, the police deployed 54 riot police units, which consist of 3,500 officers, around the court to prepare for potential incidents. Approximately 160 police buses were stationed, forming physical walls around the Constitutional Court. About 200 people were gathered nearby, waving Korean and American flags and chanting for the president's release and for the court to drop the impeachment case. On the opposite side of the street, though, people were calling for his impeachment and for the president to be punished. The police formed tight lines to prevent possible clashes occurring between the opposing groups.
Right, I see. All right, Soo-young, thank you for the latest on the impeachment trial at the Constitutional Court.